The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, May 29, reveals that traumatized Ashley Abbott will return to Paris for therapy, while Phyllis Summers faces a tough rejection. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis will tell Daniel Romalotti Jr. that Amanda Sinclair works for Aristotle Dumas, and that she's flying to DC with her for a meeting with him. Daniel will quickly realize this is an ambush and grow concerned about Phyllis looking like a stalker. Phyllis will feel like Dumas is going to appreciate her initiative, but Daniel won't be so sure. After Phyllis pitches the idea of running chancellor with Daniel, he'll laugh in her face. Daniel won't want any part of this plan, so he'll hurt Phyllis' feelings and anger her at the same time. However, Phyllis and Daniel will ultimately reach an understanding on Thursday's I&R episode. Daniel won't stand in Phyllis' way, but he'll also need her to respect that he has to do his own thing right now. Even if they're not working together, Phyllis will assure Daniel that she intends to do everything she can to fix things for him. Afterward, Phyllis will get Amanda's text asking if she's still coming, so Phyllis will text back that Dumas won't know what hit him. In the park, Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman will help Harrison Abbott brainstorm ideas for Nikki Newman's birthday present. Harrison will eventually settle on a family tree book, but he'll want a story to go along with it, so it doesn't just feel like schoolwork. While Harrison is off thinking up more ideas, Claire will give Kyle a pep talk about her grand plan and feel confident they're going to win Victor Newman's approval at the party. At the Abbott mansion, Ashley Abbott will come home and take a look at the renovations. Jack Abbott will briefly worry that Ashley disapproves since she'll act like it's worse than she thought. Ashley will ultimately clarify that it's worse because now she has to admit Diane Jenkins Abbott did a great job. Diane will enter and get Ashley's praise, so she'll be pleased that Ashley likes the refresh. Ashley will think John Abbott would be on board with the changes Diane's made, too. After Ashley asks to speak with Jack privately, they'll sit down in the dining room together. Ashley will confess that she's been focused on supporting Tracy Abbott, so she really hasn't taken her own time to heal. Since Martin Laurent was the one who sent Ashley to that clinic in Paris, not Alan Laurent, it'll leave Ashley with questions about her own recovery. Although Ashley won't be experiencing any time lapses or blackouts, she'll still want to be proactive about her mental health. Ashley won't have faith in that clinic anymore since none of the administrators could tell the difference between Alan and Martin. That said, Ashley will still have faith in the therapist she worked with and will want to return to Paris to get her help processing all the latest Martin trauma. Since Ashley will be taking another leave of absence from Jabot, Jack will understand and vow to look out for Tracy while Ashley's gone. Once Jack updates Diane on everything, Diane will wonder if they should delay their Europe trip. Jack will insist Ashley wouldn't hear of that and will assure Diane that their travel plans should move forward. Back with Ashley, she'll feel her dad's presence in the Abbott living room and ask for help being as brave as Jack thinks she is. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Martin Laurent may soon have a new obsession. Did Y&R just set up a chilling comeback story for the locked-up villain? Following Tracy Abbott's return to Genoa City, she opened up about her time trying to heal off-screen. It's been tough for Tracy since she fell so hard for Alan Laurent, only to find out he wasn't really Alan at all. Tracy is still struggling since she has questions about how much of her romance with Martin was even genuine. However, it helped Tracy to pour herself into the novel she started writing based on her difficult experience. What happens if Martin gets his hands on a copy of that novel behind bars? Once Tracy's next book is published, Martin might make it his new obsession. Despite all his flaws, Martin did seem to care about Tracy in his own twisted way. Perhaps Martin will become fixated on the idea of breaking out of prison, or better yet, getting off the hook for his crimes due to his mental health issues. Whatever the case, the fact that Y and R kept Martin alive seems significant. Martin could have faced a grim fate in some big showdown, but the show allowed him to survive and get arrested instead. That probably means they intend to use Martin again at some point. Once there's another lull in the drama and Genoa City needs a villain to take center stage, Martin may make a shocking return. Now that Tracy's been discussing this cathartic novel based on her personal ordeal, it could be setting up Martin's eventual comeback. Martin is a dangerous sociopath who fully duped Tracy and almost married her. It's easy to imagine Martin reading Tracy's book down the road and deciding there's still hope for the two of them. Martin might want to convince Tracy that what they shared was indeed real, at least on some level. Perhaps Martin could escape or score his freedom somehow for another chapter of his story with Tracy. Martin might ultimately decide that he'll win Tracy back, and if he doesn't, he'll just get rid of her. It might turn into a situation where Martin declares that if he can't have Tracy, no one can. Here are the Young and the Restless spoilers for May 29, 2025. When Ashley has some surprising news for Jack, Phyllis confides in Daniel, and Amanda is forced to make a tough decision. Tracy isn't the only Abbott to reappear this week on Y and R. On Thursday's episode, watch for Ashley to share some surprising news with Jack. Unlike Tracy, who followed her passion for writing, Ashley has chosen a different profession. She's worked alongside Jack at Jabot Cosmetics. The two have been at odds in the past, but have worked harmoniously in recent years. Could Ashley's big news be changing the inner workings at Jabot? Or is Ashley's news related to Diane's makeover of the Abbott mansion? Ashley's not one to hold back when it comes to expressing herself. Phyllis is a woman living on the edge. She's not handling her exit from Abbott Communications, and she's not doing cartwheels over Daniel not being a part of the company either. On Thursday, watch for Phyllis to have a chat with Daniel. Is she going to talk to him about future job opportunities, or is she going to weigh in on Daniel's guitar lessons with Tessa? Many things can be said about Phyllis, but if she's on your side, then you have a strong ally. Phyllis always has Daniel's best interests at heart, even though she may go about protecting those interests in a way that's a bit unorthodox. Speaking of Phyllis, she was downright giddy when Lely was shot down by Amanda in her effort to win an audience with the enigmatic Aristotle Dumas. Phyllis's plan to see the mysterious executive will play out differently, right? Well, that's what Phyllis is hoping will happen. Amanda is the gatekeeper to Dumas right now. On Thursday's show, watch for Amanda is going to be forced to make a tough decision. Will she have to choose between honoring her friendship with Phyllis and remaining loyal to her employer? Either way, Amanda stands to lose. Amanda's also got some personal matters that are unresolved. She's made no secret that she resents Lily and Devin for how she feels betrayed by them. Amanda's tough decision could relate to her personal life. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that there are 4 ways the Cane Ashby recast will change Genoa City for the better. Cane's return is going to steer things in an exciting new direction. So let's talk about the benefits of bringing Cane back with a new face. CTL previously speculated that Aristotle Dumas would turn out to be Cane Ashby and that Billy Flynn would be stepping into the role. Now there's behind-the-scenes evidence to suggest Cane is indeed returning, since his name was seemingly spotted in the leaked wardrobe photo below. Based on that and all the Cane-related clues in the Dumas story, it feels like a done deal that Flynn is a Cane Ashby recast. Although that'll definitely be an adjustment, especially since Flynn is a great deal younger than Goddard and has no Australian accent. Let's focus on the positives for a moment. There are actually some good reasons to think Cane's comeback will be excellent news for the show, so we should discuss the pros here. For starters, Victor Newman appears to be genuinely rattled by Dumas in a way that we haven't seen in a while. It takes a lot for Victor to view anyone as serious competition, so that says a lot about this new and improved version of Cane. Cane is coming back on the scene as a very powerful business tycoon who can serve as a formidable foe against Victor. No one ever truly wins against Victor in the end, but it's nice to know someone's got the moustache a bit on edge for once. Lily Winters is also beginning a hot story that'll get even hotter once Cane is back on canvas. It'll take some time for Lily to get past all Cane's Dumas deception and fall for him again. But there's a good chance a Cane and Lily reunion will happen eventually. Plus, Billy Flynn's long-awaited debut is already getting some serious buzz. The buzz is only going to grow stronger once Flynn is confirmed as Aristotle Dumas aka Cane Ashby on screen, so hopefully that'll give him an exciting lie and our kickoff. Finally, the show overall is getting reboot through Cane's comeback, which will affect so many characters and bring tons of drama. Whether fans approve of the new Cane or not, the decision to recast will lead to some fresh and interesting storylines. Here's what happened on the May 28, 2025 episode of The Young and the Restless when Tracy updated Jack and Diane on her next move, and Nikki asked Victor for the greatest gift of all. Victor asked Nick if he could continue to count on them as their meal together at the Genoa City Athletic Club continued. Nick pointed out to his dad that Michael quit his employment to keep his marriage intact. Nick asked his father if he truly felt the Abbotts were a threat. Just then, Jack appeared, having overheard Nick's question. He said he'd like an answer to that himself. Victor accused his nemesis of lurking and skulking. Jack wondered if they should leave that to others, a reference to the spies that Victor placed at Jabot. Victor continued to spar, prompting Jack to suggest he get some new material. After Victor left, Jack asked his former stepson if Mr. Sunshine's new disposition had something to do with Michael quitting. Nick confided that Victor is gearing up for a threat against Newman. He chastised Jack for chasing Victor off just as he was trying to get him to open up. Then, Nick vowed that Dumas would have to go through all the Newmans, starting with him, if he were to go after Nikki. Jack suggested Nick shouldn't defend his dad when it comes to the Abbotts. Nick said he was sorry the war was being reignited. Jack quipped that that made two of them. Nick added that this was all about Aristotle Dumas. Jack wished Billy would steer clear of Dumas and just focus on Abbott communications. Alone, Nick left a message for Phyllis to call him. He wanted to know what was up with Dumas. Then, Nick got a text from Sharon, who suggested they have dinner as friends. Nick wrote back that they could do it tonight. At the Jazz Lounge, Claire met with Pietro, a party planner, who revealed he was a big Nikki Newman fan, and he had some larger-than-life ideas for her birthday gala. Pietro revealed just how big an admirer he is of Nikki by showing Claire a glamour shot of Nikki and Victor from the 1980s. Claire commented on how big her grandmother's hair was. After Pietro threw out a few outrageous plans for Nikki's party, Claire gently encouraged him to take a more sophisticated approach. Pietro dialed down from his idea to employ a stripper pole or incorporate Bollywood, and agreed with Claire that something more intimate and elegant would be in order. Kyle joined Pietro and Claire as they continued to plan Nikki's gala. Pietro and Claire agreed on the color red being a theme. He said he envisioned a room filled with Nikki's loved ones. Claire liked that idea. Pietro took Claire's notes and went to work on the party. He suggested Claire got her tenacity from her grandmother. Kyle complimented Claire on handling Pietro's enthusiasm. He asked her if she could help Harrison choose a gift for Nikki, as his son had asked for Claire's help specifically. Meanwhile, Nikki met with Victoria at Newman Enterprises. Vicky admired the locket that Victor gave her mom as a pre-birthday present. Nikki feared that there might not be a party as Victor's actions could lead to a diminished guest list. Nikki brought Vicky up to speed on Michael quitting and how that might mean he and Laurent wouldn't come to Nikki's birthday party. The topic shifted to Victor's reaction to Kyle and Claire. Nikki feared that Claire changing Victor's mind may be impossible given Victor's control issues. After Nikki exited, Victor entered his office to talk to Vicky about Dumas. He said that their priority has to be to protect Nikki from Dumas. Vicky changed the subject and urged her father to accept Claire and Kyle. She rhetorically asked what Victor would do to Kyle: stick him in his dungeon or put him in a box and ship him to an undisclosed location, as he'd done with some of his adversaries. That might be an idea, Victor quipped. He countered that had he been harder on the men in Victoria's life, she might not have gotten as many divorces as she did. Victor stated he didn't want to see Claire's heart get broken. Vicky walked out after she informed her father she'd never forgive him if he had a scheme to discredit Kyle. Later, Nikki returned to Victor's office. She asked Victor if he and Vicky had argued about Kyle and Claire. Nikki pointed out that Claire was in love and urged him to give up. "Have I ever given up on my family?" Victor shot back. Getting nowhere with Kyle and Claire, Nikki changed the subject to Michael. Victor asked his wife to stop worrying about him, Kyle, and Michael. If not, he'd have to distract her. Victor did just that when he presented Nikki with another pre-birthday gift, a music box. She opened it up and noted that the music was one of the first compositions she ever played on the piano. Victor said he had it restored, and she requested this particular piece of music be added. Nikki said that the best gift he could give her would be honesty. The birthday girl asked Victor to promise not to attack the Abbots until after her party. Tracy arrived home and saw the redo of the Abbott mansion for the first time in person. Diane asked Tracy what she thought of her efforts. Tracy commented positively on how the Abbott mansion felt both different and not different at all. She complimented Diane on making the family home even more warm and welcoming. Diane was thrilled to hear her reaction. Tracy acknowledged Diane must have been under some stress. "The stress came from wondering what you all would think," Diane confessed. Diane gently asked Tracy how she was doing. The author confessed that it has not been easy. Tracy admitted to Diane that she hurt her feelings by not confiding in her about Martin. She was trying to protect her family, but she now considered Diane to be a part of that family. Diane shared that she has been worrying about Tracy. She opened up and said it's been a journey as Tracy went from being in a loving relationship, or so she thought, to realizing she was in love with a monster. Now she's alone again and left with nothing but questions and guilt. Diane hastened to point out that Tracy had nothing to feel guilty about. Tracy believed that the spark that she felt with Martin was real. Diane suggested he might have had genuine feelings for Tracy, but Tracy wondered how anyone could torture two women the way that he had done. Diane lamented that they may never know what Martin was about. Tracy missed what she thought she had with Alan, who was Martin in disguise. She wondered if any of it was real and questioned her neediness level. Diane told her sister-in-law that there was nothing wrong with wanting to be loved. Tracy said she looked forward to the day when she could walk through the Abbott house and not be reminded of what Alan, or rather Martin, had put her through. Tracy surmised that's why she might be happy about the new Abbott house. It's a new beginning. Diane pointed out that Martin fooled everyone and that Tracy should never doubt her strength and decency. Tracy agreed with Diane and added that she would never let the Martin Lawrence of the world get the best of her. Next, Jack returned home and warmly greeted Tracy. She gave her blessing to the home in person. Jack said he was thinking of having Diane redo Jabot Cosmetics next, but she took a pass on doing that. Tracy shared with Jack that her time in New York had partially healed her, but she added that she's not fully healed. Tracy told Jack and Diane that her time in New York was very difficult in the beginning. She noted she was fortunate to have Ashley there to support her. Tracy announced that she was going to turn her ordeal with Alan/Martin into a novel. Jack and Diane commended Tracy on her bravery. Then Kyle and Harrison showed up, and Harrison gave his Aunt Tracy a big hug. She told him that he must be a mind reader because a hug was just what she needed. Harrison shared that he was having trouble shipping for Nikki's birthday present because she has everything. Kyle and Harrison left to get a snack while Tracy went upstairs to get settled in. In a dramatic twist that could reshape Genoa City's power dynamics, the Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victoria Newman has taken a bold and unexpected stand, one that positions her as both a strategist and protector in the ongoing battle within the Newman dynasty. Victoria's recent visit to the Newman family estate began under the guise of familial harmony, but it quickly became clear her intentions were anything but benign. With a calm yet resolute demeanor, she confronted her father, Victor Newman, in his private office, a sanctum steeped in family history and corporate legacy. She came armed not with pleasantries, but with a firm directive. Any interference with the budding relationship between Claire Grace and Kyle Abbott would be met with irreversible consequences. For Victor, a man used to controlling every facet of his children's lives, including their romantic choices, this was a direct challenge to his authority. Her demand was no hollow threat. Victoria invoked a chilling symbol from the family's past, the infamous crate incident. Though its full details remain shrouded in family lore, it served as a stark reminder that she's capable of ruthless tactics when pushed. This historical reference wasn't just symbolic, it was a calculated message that she would act decisively to protect what she values. Her goal was clear: to forge a new code of conduct within the Newman circle, one that respects genuine love and shields it from manipulation. With a hand on a framed photograph of herself and Victor at a Newman ribbon cutting, she reminded him of their shared legacy, then declared it was time to prioritize emotional integrity over corporate strategy. Victor, visibly shaken but composed, acknowledged her boundary with a cryptic warning about the price of harmony. Still, the gesture signaled an uneasy truce. Whether this peace holds remains to be seen, especially as Nikki's birthday gala approaches. Claire and Kyle, blissfully unaware of the high-stakes game playing out above them, have poured their energy into planning a heartfelt tribute intended to unify the Newman and Abbott families. But their romantic overtures may have only further provoked Victor. For him, Abbott blood remains a historical adversary to everything the Newman Empire stands for. The threat Victoria poses isn't merely emotional, it's existential. If Victor deems her ultimatum a betrayal, he could retaliate with all the power at his disposal, from boardroom tactics to public smear campaigns. Claire and Kyle could become casualties in a larger war, exiled from family influence or used as pawns in a brutal display of dominance. Yet there's a glimmer of a different future. If Victor chooses to honor his daughter's vision, this could mark the beginning of a more compassionate Newman era, one where legacy and love coexist. But the path to such a transformation would require Victor to let go of decades of control and rivalry, a move that seems unlikely given his history. As tensions rise, a storm brews on the horizon. The fields of the Newman farm, once serene, may soon witness the fallout of a civil war. Whether Victoria's call for change will redefine the Newman dynasty or ignite a conflict that tears it apart remains uncertain. Ashley Abbott's return to Genoa City in The Young and the Restless wasn't the homecoming her family expected. What appeared to be a routine business trip to Chicago turned out to be a pivotal event that thrust her into the heart of a devastating corporate conspiracy. Instead of closure or reconnection, Ashley brought back news that threatened the very foundation of the Abbott family and their company, Jabot. Upon arriving at the Abbott mansion, Ashley's subtle distress hinted at the severity of what she had uncovered. Her journey wasn't just about company matters. It revealed that Victor Newman had covertly maneuvered through shell corporations and intermediaries to acquire a significant portion of Jabot shares. This silent takeover effort risked collapsing everything Jack Abbott had worked to protect. Victor's endgame is clear, not just business domination, but also the erosion of the Abbott family's pride and unity. Ashley realized she had unknowingly become a pawn in Victor's plot. A supposed benign business meeting in Chicago had been a calculated trap. Within that meeting, she stumbled across incriminating documents and communication logs, revealing Victor's detailed surveillance and manipulation of Jabot's inner workings. Back in Genoa City, Ashley approached Jack privately, burdened by the impact of her revelation. The evidence she presented left Jack stunned. He quickly understood the stakes. Victor had not only orchestrated a hostile stock acquisition, but had also set up a multi-layered scheme to destabilize Jabot from within. The strategy included manipulating investors and instigating a domino effect that could isolate the Abbotts and strip them of their corporate control. Ashley's discovery comes at a precarious time. Victor, under the guise of peace ahead of Nikki Newman's birthday, was biding his time. But Ashley knew better. He had already initiated his offensive. Every moment of delay meant deeper losses for Jabot. Despite the danger, Ashley remained resolute. Her return wasn't just a warning, it was a call to action. The siblings now face a critical decision: either confront the threat head-on or risk losing everything. For Jack, the betrayal stings deeply. Victor's manipulation has pushed him to the edge, forcing him to prepare for an aggressive counteroffensive to protect both his company and his family. Ashley's role becomes dual: strategic partner in defense and reluctant participant in the betrayal. The Abbott family now stands at a crossroads where loyalty, trust, and leadership will determine their survival. As tensions rise and Victor's calculated moves begin to unfold, the Abbotts brace themselves for a battle that is not just about business, but about preserving everything they've built. In the volatile world of Genoa City, Ashley's revelations have ignited a storm, and only time will tell who will rise from the wreckage. Summer Newman's time in Milan has sparked joy for her family, until suspicions begin to rise. The young and the restless may soon twist her romantic escape into a dangerous trap. Could her new life abroad hide a sinister truth? Summer's departure felt peaceful at first. Her family was glad to see her smile again. Phyllis and Nick were thrilled about her success, and even more excited by her budding romance. But things don't add up. Summer, a devoted mother, wouldn't just stay away from Harrison. A few weeks of video chats might work, but not forever. If the connection weakens, if calls start getting missed, it could mean more than a busy schedule. This emotional distance could be the start of a deeper, darker plan. Summer's new Italian boyfriend sounds like a dream. He's supportive, romantic, and supposedly helping her feel alive again. But what if he's not who he claims to be? The young and the restless may be setting up a betrayal masked as love. Kidnapping plots aren't new to Genoa City. If Summer's boyfriend is after the Newman fortune, getting close to her would be the perfect way in. Summer's last name carries weight and value. Any criminal could see her as the key to a massive payday. Phyllis and Nick may soon notice something is off. First, Summer cancels a visit. Then, she stops showing up on video calls. Eventually, only vague texts come through. This pattern would be hard to ignore, and even harder to explain away. Could it be that Summer is being watched or controlled? The absence of voice or video contact might mean she's not free to speak. This storyline could build gradually, adding tension before delivering a shocking reveal. With Allison Lanier's exit, the young and the restless needs a way to keep Summer's name relevant. A kidnapping arc would do just that. It buys time, keeps fans invested, and gives other characters a reason to rally together. Phyllis might jump into detective mode. Nick could lean on Victor for help. Kyle, though involved with Claire, would no doubt be shaken by Summer's danger. And Harrison? The little boy would feel the impact deeply, creating powerful emotional moments. The young and the restless spoilers hint that Summer's story isn't over. Whether it ends with a dramatic rescue or a shocking betrayal, viewers can expect twists. And when Summer finally returns, it could lead to a romantic shakeup or explosive revenge. The Young and the Restless may be hiding a dark twist beneath Summer's love story. If danger's brewing in Milan, Genoa City won't stay quiet for long. Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for updates as the mystery unfolds. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 29, reveal that Ashley Abbott will have a shocker for Jack Abbott, while Amanda Sinclair gets backed into a difficult corner. For starters, Jack will welcome Ashley home following her time away with Traci Abbott. Ashley had to stop for a business meeting in Chicago, so that's the reason why her own return was a little more delayed than Tracy's. Could that business meeting have something to do with a move Victor Newman is plotting against Jabot? Since Ashley will have some stunning info for Jack, she might have news related to the latest feud with Victor. Despite Victor's promise to wait until after Nikki Newman's birthday party to go after the Abbotts, he may already have a bold strategy underway. Whatever the case, Ashley will fill Jack in on something shocking and perhaps give him a reason to worry. Next, Amanda will find herself stuck in a tight spot. My and our spoilers say Amanda will face a difficult choice, so this may tie in with Phyllis Summers' attempt to pitch her Chancellor plan to Aristotle Dumas. Dumas might get updates on what's happening and warn Amanda that there's no way Phyllis is getting through the door. Phyllis is awfully determined, but Dumas has made it crystal clear that he doesn't want in-person meetings with her or anyone else. Dumas might task Amanda with making Phyllis back off and put her in the tough position of raining on Phyllis Parade again. Of course, Amanda and Phyllis' joint DC flight may not even happen if Dumas has other plans in mind for his attorney. Dumas might push Amanda to extend her stay and help him out with a message since one's supposed to rock Genoa City before the week's over. Amanda's tight spot may be more about Dumas' escalating demands and how far she's willing to go for her boss. Although Phyllis will open up to Daniel Romalotti Jr., and most likely convey her excitement, she may not get her wish when it comes to all her Dumas-related goals. Nevertheless, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will keep working hard to nail down a path forward, so stay tuned. In The Young and the Restless, a devastating family crisis rocks Sharon Newman's world when her daughter, Mariah Copeland, reveals a secret that could destroy everything Sharon has fought to protect. Despite years of overcoming heartbreak, betrayal, and scandal, nothing prepares Sharon for the emotional fallout of Mariah's confession. Upon returning from a business trip, Maria exhibits signs of distress, restless behavior, evasive glances, and missed responsibilities. Tessa Porter notices the shift early on, recognizing that something more troubling than jet lag is haunting Mariah. The secret she carries begins to seep into every aspect of her life, quietly fracturing her home from within. In early May, Mariah finally confesses to Sharon that she made a drunken mistake months ago. Her revelation, initially vague, carries profound emotional weight. The implications stretch beyond a lapse in judgment. They hint at a betrayal with the power to disrupt Sharon's marriage to Ray Rosales and undermine the trust that anchors their family. News of Maria's indiscretion spreads rapidly across Genoa City, a town notorious for turning whispers into public spectacle. Friends like Nikki Newman and Phyllis Summers confront Sharon, each reacting with their own mix of concern, confusion, and disappointment. Ray, blindsided by the secret, begins questioning the foundations of his marriage. The once warm household becomes tense and divided. As corporate rivals Victor Newman and Jack Abbott sense an opportunity in Sharon's vulnerability, personal turmoil spills into professional circles. The scandal's ripple effect impacts not just family but the business dynamics between Newman Enterprises and Jabot. Despite the storm, Sharon draws on her inner strength, reflecting deeply on Mariah's actions. She questions whether this was a desperate cry for help or a calculated betrayal. Meanwhile, Maria is consumed by guilt, turning to Tessa and Daniel Romalotti for comfort, further evidence of the emotional rift growing between her and Sharon. The revelation cuts deeper for Sharon because of the personal history she shares with Mariah. From the moment she took Mariah in, Sharon nurtured her with love and guidance, shaping her into someone she believed embodied integrity and loyalty. Now that Faith feels betrayed, Sharon wrestles with guilt, wondering if she missed signs of Mariah's emotional drift while balancing professional and family responsibilities. The crisis forces Sharon to reevaluate everything: her role as a mother, the resilience of her marriage, and her legacy. While she considers therapy for Mariah, emotional support for Tessa, and counseling for herself, Sharon also faces the enormous challenge of holding her family together while maintaining her public composure. What lies ahead is uncertain. Sharon must find a way to forgive without excusing, to protect without enabling, and to lead without breaking. Her decisions in the days to come will not only define the future of her family, but also echo through every relationship she touches in Genoa City. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily UAAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless, there was a new face in Genoa City, sporting a flashy blazer and bursting with creativity. I laughed out loud picturing Nikki's face if she really walked in and saw people wearing shawls with her likeness on them, or taking a seat only to spot a pillow with her face on it. But when Pietro visualized a play of her life story, and it all started with a poll, come on. That's the type of humor we forgot we even needed. Lighthearted has been doing a really great job for a while now of becoming more real, from mental health issues to talking about real feelings and dealing with them. But in all that realness, it's been rather somber for quite some time. In all the drama, we have been missing something we didn't even know we needed: soapy, witty comedy. Sure, Esther can be seen blatantly eavesdropping on conversations as she casually walks across the coffee shop with a pot in hand. But imagine the conversations and gossip comparing that she and Pietro could be doing? Or bring back Gloria, her with Pietro would be Hijinks gold. We still have a few more days of Pietro in town, while he sets up Nikki's birthday bash. But aside from the inevitable door crasher event we all know is coming, Pietro could be the gift that keeps on giving, if he gets to stick around Genoa City. Want more details? We got you. Soap Central has the best full Lighthearted recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers, too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of June 2 to 6 reveal that Audra Charles will go too far while Sharon Newman tackles a crisis. Victor Newman will also target Aristotle Dumas, so here's what and our viewers can expect. Nikki Newman's party will come with some curveballs, especially for Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman. Despite Claire's optimism when it comes to winning Victor's approval, things won't go according to plan. Victor may fly into a rage following Kyle's attempt at a grand gesture. No matter what Kyle does, it's doubtful it'll be enough to prompt Victor's genuine change of heart. There's a good chance Kyle and Claire will get into a serious argument after her big idea flops. Kyle may stomp off and ultimately give Audra the opportunity she needs to pull him closer. However, Audra could go too far in her quest to destroy Claire and Kyle's romance. If Audra lets herself surrender to temptation just as much as Kyle, they could betray both their partners. Audra could land in hot water with Nate Hastings once all this plays out. Likewise, Kyle could devastate Claire if he crosses the line with Audra and bursts the blissful bubble Claire was trying to create with him. In the meantime, Victor will presumably want to fight back following a strange message from Dumas. Once Dumas sends out a cryptic announcement to the people of GC, Victor may view whatever he says as a threat. Victor will prepare to target Dumas, though his priority may be figuring out exactly who this mystery man is first. Of course, there could be a twist if Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson end up being behind this Dumas message instead. Since Chelsea and Adam decided to create a scandal, it's possible this will be a fake Dumas announcement, one that's meant to take the heat off Billy Abbott. Over with Sharon, she may have another crisis to tackle. Maria Copeland's secret and marriage are set to blow up soon, so Sharon may prepare to pick up the pieces. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will continue to be there for Tessa Porter, but he'll also make time to catch up with Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti once they pay him a visit in the coming episodes. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of June 2 to 6 will bring some thrills and spills, so stick with us for updates on all the wild news and heated moments. Ashley is headed home, and if you know anything about Genoa City, her return means one thing: something big is coming. Young and the Restless spoilers tease she's about to drop jaw-dropping news on Jack, and fans are buzzing with theories. Did New York bring her peace or more chaos? Let's talk possibilities. The most romantic theory: Ashley ran into an old flame while in the Big Apple with Tracy and got swept up in a whirlwind romance. Maybe she's returning with a shiny new ring on her finger and a new last name to match. A surprise wedding would certainly shake things up, especially if her mystery man turns out to be someone with ties to the Abbotts or the Newmans. Of course, Ashley is no stranger to picking up and starting over. She's left Genoa City before, and she might do it again. Is she done with the family drama, the corporate wars, and the emotional chaos? Maybe she's announcing a permanent move to Paris or another high-powered destination where she can build a new life, one that's far from Martin and his lingering shadow. But let's not forget the most explosive option of them all: revenge. Ashley's history with Martin isn't just painful, it's personal. If her time away gave her clarity, she may be coming back with a mission. Could she be planning a strategic takedown of her former attacker, or pulling the family into her plan for justice? The Abbotts may not be ready for the storm she's about to unleash. No matter what Ashley's about to unleash, the walls of the Abbott mansion won't know what hit them. She's not just coming home, she's storming in with something explosive, and this time, it's personal. If she's secretly married, expect jaws to drop. If she's packing up and leaving Genoa City behind, the fallout could fracture the family. And if she's got revenge on her mind, watch out, because Ashley doesn't make threats, she makes moves. Jack thinks he's braced for anything, but nothing could prepare him for the bomb his sister is about to detonate. Whatever it is, life at the Abbott estate is about to be turned upside down.